Let's be honest, sometimes talking to an AI feels like talking to a brick wall, right? You ask for something specific and it gives you, well, something else entirely. We're going to fix that today. We are going to learn how to speak the language of AI so you can get exactly what you want every single time. You know the feeling. You ask your AI assistant for what seems like a simple task, and what you get back is just completely useless. It's so frustrating. But what if I told you the problem isn't the AI and it's not you either? It's all about the way we're communicating. And that's something we can absolutely change. The secret is a skill called prompt engineering. And the best way to think about it is like this. Imagine the AI is a brilliant, world-class chef, but it's also super literal. If you just say, make me food, yeah, you'll get something, but it's probably not what you were picturing. Prompt engineering is the art of handing that chef a detailed step-by-step recipe so it can cook you a 5-star meal every single time. So, how do we do it? How do we become master prompt engineers? Well, it all starts with 3 foundational techniques that are going to instantly transform your AI chats. We're going to cover how to give crystal clear instructions, how to provide the right context, and how to show the AI exactly what you want using examples. Okay, rule number 1, and this is the big one, be clear and be specific. If you ask a vague question, you're going to get a vague answer. Simple as that. In fact, a recent study confirmed that when you give an AI a clear, structured prompt that includes reasoning steps, its performance just goes through the roof. So stop saying, write me an email, and start saying something like, write a friendly but professional email to my boss asking for a raise and mention my recent successes on the big project. See the difference? All right, let's bust a super common myth. You've probably seen people say you should tell the AI to act as an expert to get more accurate answers. Well, it turns out that's not really true. It's fantastic for getting the right style or tone. If you want it to sound like a pirate, go for it. But research shows it does pretty much nothing to improve factual accuracy. So, great for style, not so great for facts. The next trick is all about adding context. I mean, you wouldn't ask a total stranger for detailed career advice without telling them about your job, right? Same thing with AI. If you want a personalized email, give it your professional bio. If you're asking it to analyze data, tell it about the company. The more relevant background info you provide, the better and more tailored your results are going to be. Okay, now we're going to level up. Instead of just telling the AI what you want, we're going to start showing it. This technique is called few-shot prompting, and honestly, it's a total game changer. By giving the AI just a couple of examples of what you're looking for, you're essentially teaching it to see the pattern, and the results can be incredibly accurate. Here is a perfect demonstration of what I mean. A zero-shot prompt is just a basic command like, convert this sentence to French. It works, but it's basic. But look at the few-shot prompt. We're showing it examples. Hello becomes bonjour. Thank you becomes merci. By doing that, the AI doesn't just translate the next phrase, it learns the exact format you want. It's literally learning on the fly from your examples. And hey, don't just take my word for it. The experts are all over this. Sander Schulhoff, who's a top researcher in this space, says that just by giving a few examples, you can really boost the AI's performance. It's almost like you're handing it a cheat sheet for how your brain works. All right, you've got the basics down. Now it's time to get into some of the more advanced stuff. We're going to dive into a couple of techniques that will help you tackle those really complex, multi-step problems, the kind that might make a less sophisticated prompt just completely short-circuit. First up is something called chain of thought prompting. This is your go-to for things like math problems or tricky logic puzzles. Instead of just asking for the final answer, you ask the AI to show its work. And you can often trigger this just by adding a simple phrase like, let's think step by step. This forces the AI to slow down and break the problem into smaller pieces, which makes it way less likely to make a silly mistake. And next, we have a similar idea called self-ask decomposition. This is another one of those divide and conquer strategies, and it is perfect for those really big, messy questions. You're basically prompting the AI to take your complex query and break it down itself into a list of smaller, easier-to-answer sub-questions before it even tries to give you a final answer. So for instance, check this out. The original question is messy. A customer wants to return a car with a ding, but doesn't know when they bought it. Instead of just guessing, the AI first asks itself a series of smaller questions. Is this person even a customer? What car are we talking about? When was it purchased? And what's our actual policy on dings? Once it finds the answers to those simple questions, it can put them all together for a perfect final answer. Okay, Let's take a quick peek at the really cutting-edge stuff. We're talking about techniques that let the AI go beyond its built-in knowledge and actually interact with the outside world. This is where it starts to feel a little like sci-fi. Two of the coolest techniques out there are called RAG and React. With RAG, you can hook an AI up to an external database, like your company's private files. That way, it can answer questions with specific, up-to-the-minute information. Then there's React, where the AI can literally use tools. It can reason that it needs to do some math, then go use a calculator, or it can decide it needs more info, and then go use a search engine. It's like giving your AI its own super-powered tool belt. Wow, okay, I know we have covered a ton of ground today. But don't worry, I am not going to leave you hanging. I've boiled all of this down into a simple, actionable cheat sheet that's going to help you remember which technique to use and when. Think of this as your secret weapon. So here it is. If a task feels a little ambiguous or you need a very specific style, use few-shot prompting. For anything that requires logic or multiple steps, like math, tell it to use a chain of thought. For those big, complex questions, use self-ask. And whenever the AI needs specific, up-to-date info, that's when you use contextual priming. It's really as simple as that. And finally, just a quick public service announcement on what not to do. You might have seen some wild stuff online about people threatening AIs or promising them a huge tip to get better answers. Well, I'm here to tell you it's pretty much nonsense. Researchers have looked into it, and it turns out these AIs are completely immune to that kind of emotional bribery. So you can save your breath and your $200. So there you have it. You're not just someone who uses AI anymore. You're a collaborator. You now have the keys to speaking its language, which means the possibilities are pretty much endless. You have the power to create, to innovate, and to build amazing things. So the only question left is, what are you going to go create?